Iran fired a new wave of missiles attack on Israel early on Monday. This triggered air raid sirens across the country as emergency services reported at least 4 killed and dozens more wounded in the fourth day of open warfare between the regional foes that showed no signs of slowing. Iran announced it had launched some 100 missiles and vowed further retaliation for Israel's sweeping attacks on its military and nuclear infrastructure, which have killed at least 224 people in the country since last Friday. The attacks raised Israel's total death toll to at least 18, and in response, the Israeli military said fighter jets had struck 10 command centers in Tehran belonging to Iran's Quds Force, an elite arm of Revolutionary Guard that conducts military and intelligence operations outside Iran. Now, joining us to look at this Israel-Iran conflict is a global affairs analyst based in the United Kingdom, Festus Tokumbo. Good evening and welcome to our news.
Good evening. Thank you.
Yeah, what do we know so far? The world is quaking right now. It feels like there's going to be a third world war. Israel is fighting on all fronts. They are fighting in Gaza and now in Iran. So what do we know so far?
Thank you. The ongoing war between Israel and Iran was a consequence of the Iran nuclear ambition. You know, over the years, Iran has been pursuing nuclear ambitions, and Iran had an agreement with the international community 15 years ago. To stop those ambitions in exchange for letting many of these actions. And for over a month, there have been studies that show that Iran is piling up uranium. The International Energy Agency actually claimed that Iran is about 70% to become a nuclear armed state. And Iran is not allowing many of those agencies to access their nuclear site. So to Israel, Iran armed nuclear states, they threat to their national security. And it's not just about Israel alone. Even the international community are not interested in Iran becoming a nuclear armed state for many reasons. One is because Iran is the world's largest sponsor of non-state actors. The Hezbollah in Lebanon, the PK forces in Turkey, the Islamic State in Syria, the Taliban in Afghanistan, the Tamil Tiger, even the Al-Shabaab in Kenya, even the Boko Haram in Nigeria. These are non-state actors that are contending with national government on the monopoly use of violence in their various operations. And many of these non-state actors are actually, Iran has pushed influence over many of these actors. So it was believed that Iran armed nuclear state would compromise the global security. And even in the Middle East countries are not interested in Iran becoming a nuclear state. For example, Saudi Arabia has said that should Iran become a nuclear armed state, they will pursue nuclear ambition to serve as a balance of threat, as for the case between India and Pakistan. So what Israel is trying to do is to destroy many of those advancements that Iran has made in their nuclear ambitions, in their nuclear goals, because Israel will not really allow Iran to become a nuclear armed state. And if you look at the consequence of the war in the past 4 days, you see there are a lot of casualties on the part of Iran compared to Israel, because in military, Israel is very advanced. Though Iran is big in terms of the population. Iran is about 91 million population compared to Israel is about 10 million. But when it comes to military advancement, Israel is a nuclear armed state, and Israel is well advanced in technology. And in the case of Iran, Iran's means of attacking is through drones and missiles, while Israel is combating the aerial bombardment and warplanes over many of the sites in Iran. So I think the earlier Iran come to negotiation, it is obvious that they want the war to end, because today the Iran Foreign Affairs Minister is calling for the intervention of the Security Council. And he's even saying that if the US want to end the war, it's just a phone call from President Trump to Prime Minister of Israel. But to me, Iran will not stop until many of those nuclear sites are destroyed. So we are likely to have this war for the next couple of days.
Yeah, but if it is a global threat that Iran should not own nuclear capabilities, Why is it that Israel is the one that is spearheading the destruction of this thing, and in this fight they're at the forefront?
Exactly, because the idea is for Israel to allow the international community to respond to Iran nuclear threat, as was the case many years ago when they were using economic sanctions to stop Iran nuclear growth. And that was then Iran was largely dependent on EU for many of its trade. But since then till now, Iran has smartly diversified its economy from the European Union. For example, Iran top trading partners are China, Turkey, Palestine. So many of those countries will not support the idea of using economic sanctions to stop Iran. So the only option the world may have to stop Iran may be military. So I think Israel should have allowed the entire community to take on that responsibility. But Israel, they're not ready for. They believe that the more the Iran is becoming advancing in nuclear threat, it's a threat to their national security. But I believe that, in my opinion, US is the major factor in what is going on in this country, because today, even at the G7 conference in Canada, the US president was not ready to consent to general statement for de-escalation. So the idea is that because they know that Iran will not be able to stand Israel, so what they want is a setback on Iran nuclear ambition. I think they are using Israel to achieve that objective.
Okay. Let's watch and see in the coming days what will happen, but we do hope it will not escalate into a World War III. We don't want to experience that at all. We'd like to thank you, Festus, for coming on our news this evening.
Thank you.
Hello. Hope you enjoyed the news. Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel and don't forget to hit the notification button so you get notified about fresh news updates.